stay here with you. You are a ranger, so I am a lucky one. I am a lucky one. You are my favorite song. I am a lucky one. 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 I am a lucky one.
A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is Saturdays are for weddings on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. I am your host today, Marysyntia Hangeior, and I am here with.
Yes, I'm Clement Sampson. Good morning to you.
Good morning. And as always, we're here to talk about love, commitment, and everything that makes weddings so unforgettable. Now, today's topic is one that often stirs strong opinions as well, and it is living together before the wedding. Now, the question is, should couples live together before the wedding? Some say yes, it helps you know your partner better. Others says no, that's crossing the line, meant for after the vows. So what do you think? Does living together before the marriage help couples to know each other better, or is it more like crossing the line that shouldn't be crossed before the wedding vows? Now, you too can call in to be part of this conversation if you reach out to us on 0808 427 5464. That is 0808 427 5464. Feel free to call in at any point in time to share your own opinion. Should couples live together before the wedding? All right, so Clement, let's start with you. What is your own opinion? Should couples live together before the wedding?
Personally speaking, I think to me it's not. It's not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's not supposed to be, because in a very simple way, I just feel like it spoils the like you see before you go into marriage, right? Before the wedding itself proper. Now, that distance, okay, that's boundary that if there's this boundary before the marriage itself proper.
Yes.
I mean, I think it spices things up as far as I'm concerned. So, the getting used to before marriage itself, I mean, you guys just start doing stuff already. You understand? And then you get too used to each other, and I'll get to this point down the line. I'll get to this point down the line, but the simple answer to your question here right now is no.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't think couples should at all live together before the wedding?
No.
Okay. So you too can call in to be part of this conversation if you reach out to us on 0808 427 5464. That is 0808 427 5464. And we are talking about living together before the wedding. And the question is, should couples live together before the wedding? Call in and share your own opinions with us. All right, living together before the wedding is becoming more common. Some couples see it as trial run, where you get to find out what kind of partner you're getting married to. Some will say you might feel like you know the person, but then it's only when you have lived together that you get to understand even the small habits and all of that. So it's better for couples to actually try that out and know themselves before actually going ahead with the wedding. But for other people, they'll be like, what's the use? I mean, we have already crossed the whole wedding, should I say, without the vows. Then what is now the use? And I've heard one story before. I don't know if you heard it, where they said, a couple got married, and then after 3 days, the wife found out that the husband it was always pressing the toothpaste from the middle instead of from the bottom. I don't know. Have you heard any story like that before? And then it got too annoying for the woman and she just left and they divorced. I'm like, is it exaggeration or was it an actual story that happened? But okay, let's just get to what we are talking about, even though that's on the same line as what we were talking about. So you too can call in to be part of this conversation and tell us if you think couples should live together before the wedding. All right. So
Now-
you said,
Now when we're talking about them living together, now we're talking about them living together fully. Yes, week in, week out. That's the thing. Okay, but then why I'm still saying there's no point, there's no need. I don't support them living together week in, week out when they've not officially tied the knot, right? Is even like for those people who give the arguments that it affords them the chance to study each other, okay, to learn each other, okay, to sort of like test the waters, right? For them who say that, I still feel that's still an argument without deep basis, right? Yes, without depth, because are they trying to tell us that people who lived in the 17th centuries, 18th centuries, 19th centuries, even the 20th centuries, the early decades of that century now,
yes.
are they trying to tell us that those people, all of their marriages failed? No,
No.
certainly not. And these were times when courtship was society's norm. Like you have to have courted for a period of time before you engage each other and then eventually get married. Now they can't tell us that.
Okay, we have a call here. Hold on. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Engineer Sunday as I'm calling from Northern Makodi.
All right. So, Engineer Sunday, what's your opinion? Should couples live together before the wedding?
Capital no.
Okay. And why is that?
See, they are not even married. Why do they even be called couple? They are not even couple in the first instance.
Okay.
They are
Yeah.
not seeking for each other's hand in marriage.
Mm.
So you cannot. You see, the Bible says when you finish everything, it says, so shall a man leave his father and mother and join to his wife, and they will become one body. So as
Okay.
they are living together like that, they are not yet married. To be stealing now, all those things they are doing is not in accordance to the word of God. Let me tell you, irrespective of what the society does these days, the only time that stranger intercourse is allowed is the new husband and wife, and when they are legally married. All these things people are doing these days is just an aberration.
Okay.
It's against the will of God. Human beings are not animals. You know, we're not animals. Before you go give somebody's daughter in your house, you got to do the necessary things, pay the dowry, do everything, and they hand over the daughter to you. And then perhaps when you want to do it to the church, you go to church and you wait. You stay together as husband and wife. How will you be staying together when you are not even married? Why should you even be called couple? You are not couple.
Okay.
Then you say, after having spoiled each other, say you are not compatible, then you leave. Then you leave the woman for who? To go and marry. And
Okay.
leave the man for who to go and marry. It's not good. It shouldn't even be contemplated. The society is allowing it, but it's an aberration completely. It's antagonistic to the law of God, the Creator, who instituted marriage in the Garden of Eden. It's not a thing to be contemplated at all.
Okay.
You get together. Let me tell you, your marriage is an ongoing school. You never graduate. Even when you are married, you continue to learn from each other. You continue to study your partner so long as you live. So there is nothing say stay together so that you can know each other inside out. You are a liar. People are human beings are enigmatic. You can never know anybody. You can never know anybody. It's only God that gives you a prudent wife. It's only God that gives you a good husband. And then with prayer, like I used to tell people, marriage is like a house. When you build a house, you enter it. It is your duty to make that house a home. You know, you make that house a home. So when you are married properly, then you come to build, and then the roses and the thorns in marriage, you know, you come to enjoy your life and go.
All right.
So to summarize, it's not correct at all for two people to live together. You know, as husband and wife before they marry legitimately or legally.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in to share your opinion. We just heard from Engineer Sunday, and He says it's completely wrong for couples to live together before the wedding. But what do you think? I think everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and you might see it differently. You might see it as something that's helpful, or you can even still be disagreeing. So you too can call in to share your own opinion on 0808 427 5464. That is 0808 427 5464. All right, so Clement, let's go. You were talking about something, or if you want to comment on what Engineer Sunday said.
You see, I like the way he said. There was this way he just said lie, like liar. You understand?
You're a liar.
Yeah, you're a liar. I liked how he said that thing.
Okay.
And yes, that's just, it's just pure lie. It's baseless when they say all of those things that they want to study each other. Okay. Now, if we check out the Western values, right, which came through the religion of Christianity, right? If we also check out the traditions we had, our own indigenous traditions we had before Western culture came in through religion, right? If we check out these things, they have a point of similarity in terms of how they view marriage. Okay, they view marriage as something sacred. Both our indigenous traditions and even the Western ones, right? And I could even say even the Eastern traditions that came through the religion of Islam, right? Both cultures, and I would dare say cultures the world over, before the dawn of woke culture, viewed marriage as a very, very, very sacred thing.
Okay.
That it is not imitated. It is not imitated before it actually happens.
Okay.
So when it is imitated, that's when we start talking about cohabitation, which is what we're talking about here. Couples living together before they eventually do the formalities of getting married. Okay. So in point of fact, I'm just saying that I'm still trying to give back up to my point that living together before marriage, there's nothing that really gives it a whole lot of sense. Okay, it's all an expression of modern culture now these days. Okay, whereby people just want to be free and to do whatever they need to do, whatever they feel like doing, and then they try to give legitimacy to what they do by stating some things which if you're not careful, you'd say, well, this is just pure logic, really. But no, this thing that may seem like it's logical, I mean, it makes sense. In the long run, ends up destroying things. Now, when our last caller called, he talked about how when such persons stay together, they cohabit before marriage, and they end up, let me use the word, defiling themselves, right? And then if it fails down the line, who would you leave the other person for? who should come and inherit the defilement you've already done, right? That's what I'm talking about. When you look at these things, it may seem logical. They say, yeah, we want to study each other. We want to first of all understand each other before we commit, right? But then, as logical as this may seem, it's one that rather brings destruction. It destroys. So it's not a logic that should even be taken seriously.
Okay. All right. So if you have just tuned in, this is Saturdays Are for Weddings on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And today we are talking about living together before the wedding. Now, you too can call in to be part of this conversation. If you reach out to us on 0808 427 5464. That is 0808 427 5464, and tell us what you think. Should couples live together before the wedding? All right, so Clement, you know there's this should I say they'll say for like 3 days or for like a week and all of that, not basically like okay packing together and then leaving, you know, that one self we even find it but since that's not the one we're talking about, it's more like they say okay, sometimes they've even gone ahead with traditional aspects of marriage, and then it's more like they're waiting for white wedding, and then they say, okay, for 3 days or for a week, you have to live together to just be sure that you want to still go ahead with this. Now, would you give this a different judgment from the actual, okay, moving and you have been living even while dating, you just know you're going to get married some days? Would you give it the same judgment, like, no, even if it's 1 day, don't come and stay, like just keep your whole distance, stay in your house, I stay in my house till the wedding day and all of that?
Now that depends on personal preferences, right? Now some people would go ahead and after the traditional marriage to go ahead and do the church wedding. Okay. Now some people would just make do with the traditional. There are a lot of people out there who believe that the traditional marriage is the real one.
The main thing.
Yeah, the main thing. So they could just decide to do it and leave it at that. But then, well, me, I am the one who prefers to do both. Yes, I'm the one who prefers to do both. So if it comes to that level, I would still stand my feet down and say, no, it's not going to happen until everything has been done. Yeah, that's me talking about my own self personally. That's what I will do. Okay. Now, I don't know, when you said this, I don't really know if that thing is something that some people practice individually.
Okay, we have
or
a
it's
call. Hello. Okay, and warning again, don't call in as a joke because we are actually discussing real matters here.
Yeah.
Go
so
on.
when you said that, I really couldn't tell whether it's something that people do individually, just based on individual choice, or whether it's part of a culture. Okay, but if it's individual choice, right, I'd still say, I mean, it's I would still frown on that. I would still frown on that.
Okay.
The same way I would frown on living together even before any form of marriage rights have even taken place. I'd still frown on it the same way.
Okay.
But if it's
Okay, we have a call. Hello.
Hello, good morning. Yes, Engineer Sunday Babak online.
All right. So tell us what you have to add.
Yes, about this last segment that you said.
Okay.
Let me say here that the Bible is not categorical about how marriage should be conducted. Check it out anywhere. Marriage is peculiar to every tradition. Like I am an Idoma man. The way the Idoma people marry is different from the other Urobo, Tiv, Igala, and the rest. So if you want to marry your wife in the traditional way, you do the traditional marriage, everything, and you say you are not going to do the church wedding again, then you have done it formally. The parents, everybody will gather, and they will hand over your wife to you, and you go. You are legally married, and you go ahead.
Okay.
But if you still want people to celebrate with you by doing the white wedding, they will both get up. That white wedding, people think it's the Bible that gave it. It's not biblical. It's not that the Bible says it is white past culture, actually. So you still want to do that one, whether you have done a traditional or not, keep aloof until you complete everything. Then the woman will be handed over to you in the church, and you go and do it. Let me tell you, you are marrying a wife. There's something you are looking for. Why do you want to see that thing before that day? And you will lose the luster of the whole thing.
Okay.
So you are hoping for, and I advise female gender particularly to be very, very careful with men. Let them not see your show before they will not be interested again.
Okay.
Keep that thing. Let them work for it so that they are together and you move on. Like I say, when you are married, you keep on studying each other, compromising. You know, marriage is like a wine. It gets better with age. I tell you. I'm speaking from the story. I've been married for a very long time. I know. Been married for almost 40 years now. So when I say something, I mean what I'm saying.
Okay.
And it has been a very blissful marriage. Let the youth hear. Let people hear. Marriage is not a joking matter.
Okay.
You want to marry, be serious about it and do it. It's not a question of let's try. Whether it's a contract, if it was, we go. No. It's for life. Life, it is sweet. The Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good and obtains favor from the Lord.
Okay.
Don't you like God's favor? So it's always better for you to complete everything that you enjoy the fruit of your labor. So don't see for it's not good for you to steal your own thing The one is for you now. Wait for the right time, then you can, do it before time. It's like you're stealing your own property. Then you can't get me. So thank you very much. Have a nice day.
All right. Thank you, sir. We heard what he had to say again. He called earlier and he still had to add to that part of, okay, the white wedding is not really a biblical, should I say, norm. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Comrade Nande Mesha calling from Makodi.
Okay, so what do you think? Should couples live together before the wedding?
Thank you for this opportunity. Why, from the first place, why must we call them couple? What is not Panadol cannot be Panadol. What is not water cannot be water. So what is private should be kept private. Why are you making it public before the time? So I am saying that the society is so deceitful. The society is polishing lie to look like truth, which is not truth. Therefore, you live in your house, she lives in her house, you can communicate. You can meet in an open and discuss. Why must he follow him or you followed her to the house still before you marry? What will you be doing if you got married? You understand?
Yes.
So we are saying here that look at the society then. Look at our forefathers, our parents, Adam. Did God give Eve Adam to live in one corner before you come and join them? It was not done like that. God made Eve and brought Adam and joined them in matrimony. That is what marriage entails. So we cannot be cajoling ourselves these days and say that you get to know who. Trust in God. He is the Alpha and Omega. And He will give you whom you will what you are comfortable. You see our parents in those days, in fact, it was pictures. They will carry a picture of somebody and give it to her. You see this man, you are going to marry him. She go with all of her heart, with trust. She has never been there in the town or village or whatsoever. But she will get married, she will marry the person and they will live happily. What is happening with our society today? So I am saying here, in my opinion, that we should run away from all the societal deceit. We should maintain the status quo. Marriage is sacred and should be kept sacred.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in to share your opinion. Well, we heard from another caller and he's quite on that side. But you too can call in to be part of this conversation just to share your opinion. If you reach out to us on 0808 427 5464. That is 0808 427 5464. And we are talking about living together before the wedding. And the question is, should couples live together before the wedding? For some, it's more like they're trying to know each other, little habits, or just to kind of know themselves a little before they get into the marriage. But others would argue it is not right at all, like you've heard from our guests and also our callers. All right, so to bring to light, a couple is not just people who, should I say, are already in a marriage. A couple simply means two people who are in a romantic relationship. It's not necessarily, okay, they are already married and then all of that. So when we mention couple in this context, we are just talking about those people who are probably engaged themselves and all of that, and then the only thing left to do is just marriage. All right, so Clement, I think you were saying something before this caller.
I think I've even lost that train of thought right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So
let me ask you another thing though. Is your opinion, is it kind of guided by religion, like we had two of our callers say, or culture, or is it just personal preference, or is it society? Is there any kind of influence from anywhere?
Now, my influence is strongly religious, right? Strongly religious, and it is also backed by family values. Okay, backed by family values. and there is it is so I would say it's strongly it is informed by religion, family values, and then traditional values as well too. So it's a mix.
Okay.
It's actually a mix. Let me just put it that way. And when I look at these things, they make sense, because if they didn't make any sense to me, I wouldn't agree with them. Okay, so that's why I am solidly behind I'm solidly on the side of no living together before marriage.
All right.
Yes. So now people who are for this idea of living together, they may cite financial reasons as well too. But then the thing is, you don't even go to that level yet until you know you are ready.
People will be
to
going
an
to that
extent.
level even when you know they are not ready.
So if we check back to, if we look, let's even keep it purely traditional. Let's keep it purely traditional here right now. Let's keep away religion out of it. Now, from all that I've read and from all I have heard from the older ones, they said for you to even have a wife, you would need to build a hut for her to be staying.
Okay.
Right? That's talking about the traditional side of the whole thing. Right? You don't just go. It's these days now that a lot of things have become so easy now. You just rent a house and then you start staying, and then like you have this freedom to do whatever you need away from the prying eyes of your parents.
Yeah.
But then formerly, from all I've read and from what I've heard as well too, you get your wife and you bring her into your family compound, right? You live around the patriarch, you live around your siblings as well too, and then you have to build your own house, their own hut, and to in some cases you even have to build the lady her own house, right? Her own. Now this is full responsibility. This is full responsibility. This goes to show us that marriage is not something you just do out of convenience. It's something that you're supposed to prepare your mind before you get into, and you have to prepare your resources as well too before you go into. So when we start hearing like all of these things, I just call them excuses to just normalize stuff which deep down everybody knows they are not supposed to be that normal.
Okay. If you have just tuned in, this is Saturdays Are for Weddings on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and this morning we are talking about living together before the wedding. And the question is, should couples live together before the wedding? You too can call in to be part of this conversation if you reach out to us on 0808 427 5464. That is 0808 427 5464. Also remember that everyone is entitled to their own opinions, and there are no judgments as far as you're able to back up whatever you're saying with valid reasons. So call in to share that. All right, so Clement, but is this something that we see often these days? Like for me, I've seen it very often. Okay, but before that, let's take this call. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, calling from North Bank, Makori.
Okay, so could you be a little audible, please? Okay. I guess he doesn't want to be audible, but you could still call back and share your thoughts on our topic. Okay, so I was asking you, Clement, is this something that we see these days, or is it more like it's my eyes that were in a particular place and all of that? Because for me, it's everywhere. I see it. It's not even people that are even planning to get married. Okay, here we're even talking of people who engage themselves and then all of that. But you see that even people that have not, in fact, they met last week and all of that, and they just promise the whole mouth promises of marriage just with words and all of that. There's no actual proof of, okay, I'm engaged to this person is engaged to me. So do you see it like rampant?
Yeah, it's becoming rampant. I really can't place my finger on what exactly is making it rampant. Well, I do suspect that some of these people, well, they feel like the rights, okay, that one has to commit to get married is, well, too heavy. Okay, some just feel like all of these things are formalities that. Now I've heard somebody question like, why would he need to go and start explaining himself to somebody, like, and he said, animals, like, they have free passage. They don't need to go and do any formalities, pay bride price, meet with any family member, like all of those kind of things. Now he forgets that human beings, well, we're a higher class of animal. We're not the average, and we're not dogs. We're not goats, right? We're not chickens.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so there's a difference between us. And the reason why all of these formalities are there is to keep everybody involved. Talking about the couple themselves, everybody involved safe. Yes, so that you don't just go and you just do anything and anyhow, the way you please.
Okay.
Yes. So when you cohabit before committing to all the real formalities of marriage, you're exposing yourself to danger.
Okay.
And there's no guarantee. Now, when you do stuff, when you like both of you living together, and then you do stuff in terms of buying property, owning property, you combine your resources and then you buy property, for example.
And
now
I think people are pulling the whole, should I say, this situation in a more of like, should I say, intimacy and all of that. But for people who would argue that it's actually to know their partners better, it's not really just the whole intimacy. People be doing that long ago before they even think of marrying. So it's more like the whole little habits that they have, like with that story of.
Yeah, that, of course, it like it encompasses a whole lot. When they say they want to know each other, it goes beyond intimacy. It also involves other things. Now, back to what I was talking about. Now, when they do stuff together, like buying stuff, property together, now there is nothing that gives you assurance, okay, that relationship at that point, it's not been formalized, it's not legally recognized. Now, by the time that thing fails, if it fails, because they do fail, a lot of them do fail, but then, of course, some do transition into the formal thing, which is marriage itself. Some do, but a lot also fail. Now, some people go into this kind of cohabiting arrangements, and they begin to like buy property together, building stuff together. But then the downside of this whole thing is, by the time it fails, and there comes animosity, arguments, hatred between, like bad blood between the two people involved, right? There is nothing that there's nothing that really gives you solid backing,
okay,
like in terms of splitting your property together, okay, or in terms of who keeps, like if it went on to a level that children become involved, even like who keeps
this or
the
who
kids,
keeps,
who keeps the kids, or share visitation rights, all of these kind of things, right? And also splitting property. There is no real backing, because in the first place the union was not even formal, it wasn't legalized. So you the whole time you had been living outside the coverage of marital laws.
So for that one self, it's more like the stretched whole version where they actually live together for a longer time, because that's when it will lead to the whole acquiring properties.
No, it doesn't even have to get to an extended time before property start even getting involved. Yeah, some of them end up still feeling like, yeah, well, they could go ahead and own stuff together. Do you understand? And now the crafty ones in such relationships would even deliberately inspire for buying of property together with a plan of scuttling the whole thing down the line and using force, intimidation, or some other means of blackmailing the other person to forfeit this property they might have bought together. Do you understand?
Okay.
I'm just trying to paint a picture here that cohabiting before the formality of marriage itself is one that has more risks to it, that goes beyond the risk of you needing to understand the other person, understand yourselves, doing trial marriage, testing the waters and all of that.
All right. So it's still Saturdays are for weddings on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and this morning we are talking about living together before the wedding. And you too can call in to be part of this conversation if you reach out to us on 0808 427 5464. That is 0808 427 5464. And the question is, should couples live together before the wedding? I mean, for those who say yes, you'd hear most answers like, okay, they are trying to know each other and all of that. But what do you think? Hello?
Hello?
Good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Yes, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, I'm calling from New Jersey. My name is Dennis Ihara.
Okay, so what do you think?
Everything about it is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And these are my reasons. If you see somebody driving a brand new Jeep, you like it as somebody who doesn't have it, but to him it's already just one of those assets that he have. So he's looking forward to getting another thing.
Okay.
So if you already have somebody in the house that you are cohabiting, the zeal to formalize, because you begin to see a lot of faults. You understand?
Yes.
So to me, courtship should be enough. But the pressure of this urbanization, sometimes like when I was in Lagos, I know sometimes because of pressure of no accommodation, and then sometimes the person who is paying for the rent begin to feel that he or she is doing you a favor, and you begin to have issues that ordinarily wouldn't have cropped up.
Okay.
So to me, I would rather somebody, get married and formalize, and then they will now be able to become couples.
Right.
And I'll also further give you one of the examples. As Benue and the chief person, I was a very strong member of the chief community meetings. We had an issue of where this brother moved in with a girl from Delta State, and they were running battles because she didn't want the guy's brothers to stay with him. And as being the firstborn, so they were having issues. And one of these days, I think she poisoned the food of the guy, and then somehow the younger sibling of the guy saw it and then insisted that the brother should not eat the food.
Okay.
You understand? And somehow she was the one who said, okay, she will eat the food, and then to prove, and she died. When she died, the issue of how to bury this girl became an issue because, one, the people say they don't know him in any other way. So even though their daughter is dead, now he has to come and pay the dowry. Then, and we had to come in as a community. This girl's corpse stayed in the mortuary for upward of over a year, going front and back of police cases. So there are so many things that, so many risks that people take. Because sometimes these kind of arrangements are not even with the knowledge of the parents. Both parents, especially in the bigger cities.
Okay.
So when anything happens, you are more in trouble because you do not have the express permission of the other person's family to stay together as couples. And mind you, it's not a one-way traffic. Sometimes the girls will end up killing the guy. And sometimes it happens vice versa. Yes, it happens.
Yes.
So to me, I don't, morally, religiously, whatever name you want to disguise it, to me, it's wrong. It's a total no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in to contribute. Okay, and we heard from our caller, and you also can call in to share your opinion on this topic. We are talking about living together before the wedding, and we are asking, should couples live together before the wedding? You too can call in to be part of this conversation on 0808 427 5464. That is 0808 427 5464. And also remember, there are no judgments and everyone is entitled to their own opinion. All right, so Clemens, you listen to what Dennis said, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said both morally, any way you want to put it, it's wrong. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, my name is Abraham. I'm calling from Georgia Kumewe.
All right. So what do you think? Should couples live together before the wedding?
Well, first of all, they are not really a couple. They are just two people.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say someone couple, even though English is difficult sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
but couple should be that they are married. So they are just two single people.
Okay.
The thing is, how people do things, reflects a lot on their mindset, their culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually sorry to say this out air here, but from my own observation, even from when I was much younger,
Mm-hmm.
I've observed that sadly, my people have this strange culture of being so lenient with people that you can have a lady, stay with a lady, even have children with lady, like multiple children, like do everything. In fact, you're technically married, like you have done everything,
Mm-hmm.
but not gone to one formalize
Okay.
in a church or even at the traditional settings.
Mm.
And then, like 10, 15 years later, you will see somebody going to the altar and they have gray hair.
Mm.
And you're wondering what happened. And some individuals following them, their constituencies, and you feel like these individuals are just any strangers. They are their offspring. You understand?
Mm.
So it seems more like something that has been entrenched in our culture. Maybe deliberately, like maybe not written, because some of these things are flexible laws, but there's a leniency with which our people have been operating that gives people the leverage to just can just carry in a lady and then start living with her, and then we start making children, and then don't worry, later you can just go.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see this guy, is it the video or something?
Mm-hmm.
Recently, they said they got married. They called it a marriage. And so when such things happen, he's encouraging other people. But I think as Christians, basically, we always have to fall back on the Bible. That's not the way it was meant to be. Because when someone designs something, it has a purpose for it. When God designed marriage, he had the purpose for marriage. That was not the purpose. And in fact, if you even define marriage according to the Bible, I think sex is at the center of marriage, even though we can make a case and say marriage is way beyond sex, but sexual intercourse is one of the things that is a core idea of marriage, and therefore if you begin to have sex with somebody before a formal marriage ceremony, it's like being married before the marriage.
All right.
Somebody, you're living with somebody already married to the person. So
Okay. Yes.
it is a very faulty way of living.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in to contribute. Okay, we heard from him, and so far we have everyone who is on that side. And I would still like to talk about a couple. A couple in this context is not just those who are married, and it's a couple is two people who are in a romantic relationship. It's not just for people who are married. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Pastor Dr. Godwin Uchiba, calling from North Bank, Makurdi.
All right. So let's hear your opinion. Should couples live together before the wedding?
No.
Okay.
They shouldn't live together before the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, they should not even have any sexual relationship before the wedding.
Okay.
Can I confess that as a person, I've been guilty of this, and I have prayed that God will forgive me?
Okay.
Now, there are issues associated with that. I have known about abortion. I have known about children that come out, and sometimes the couple no longer stay together.
All right.
And like somebody said, who are you abandoning the person for? So, as a Christian, I know Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4, verse 3 to 4, the Bible says, marriage is honorable with bed undefiled. So God, who planned this marriage, didn't initially want such a relationship before.
All right.
If we go to the Bible, Adam and Eve were wedded by God, the first wedding. Somebody will leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife. So I have gone through the Bible and many times, and I know that it's not in God's plan.
Okay. All right.
So if we do anything outside the plan of God, it is satanic, and we should not let our start say, "Oh, God help me, God help me." No, as we see today.
All right.
I know that it happens in the wider society, and may I add that I have seen it in Paris. I chatted with somebody, and I know what happens. Like somebody said, from the other cultures. Let's abandon that and come back to the plan of God.
All right.
Who ordained marriage.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in to contribute. And we heard from this caller as well. And he's also against couples living together before the wedding. But you also can call in to share your opinion. Should couples live together before the wedding? And that is on 0808 427 5464. That is 0808 427 5464. Should couples live together before the wedding for any reason at all? Are you yes or no? And do you have points to back that up? Call in and share that with us. All right. So, Clement, we have had quite a lot from different callers, and most of them looked at it from the religious part, some morally, and for you said it's both religion, morals, and just like personal principles, culture, and all of that. Okay, so I would say the way people keep saying we are looking at Western cultures and all of that, it's more like they are turning a blind eye to the fact that we see it happen right under our nose. Like, we see it, right? You see it. Okay, let's say you see that happen right under our nose, even here, right? Okay. And people even go to the extent of, or should I say, some people don't even have that whole marriage promise yet, and they are doing even things more than what married people do. If the whole purchasing of properties that you were talking about, having things together, we see issues like that trend, and then a whole lot of that. And also, one thing I think most people are not understanding is it's not all about the whole intimacy part of it. I don't know if someone else, would you like to speak on other aspects apart from, okay, you were even talking about that before the call came in. So if you would like to go on with that to make people kind of understand that when we say living together before the wedding, it's not just about the whole intimacy, because if you even want to drag foot on that one, you find that people that don't even have a marriage promise, they are all about their own stuff.
Yeah, so when you hear stuff like for better, for worse, when it comes to marriage, that is what makes people to feel like, wow, I've got to test the waters first before I really commit, so I don't go into something that I'll be unable to run out of. So beyond the intimacy part, they would say they want to test the potential.
Let me give an example: cooking skills.
Yeah, the potential partners' life skills, like you just mentioned, in terms of cooking skills, and then the potential partner's character as well too. Okay. They would want to test all of these things, like in the case that Mr. Dennis mentioned of that man who was cohabiting with a lady from Delta State, and it turned out that she wouldn't condone his siblings coming to visit and staying with them for some time. Now, that's an instance that somebody could say, okay, good, that's a surefire sign that If even if I get married to this lady, she's going to send all my family members away. Now, those are instances of, those are some other reasons why some of these people would say they want to test the waters. But if you go through courtship, you would still see the signs.
Okay.
Without you needing to live fully with the person. There are little cues and some kind of feelers you could put out there to just test the person's response. Okay. And based on how the person responds to some questions you ask with your feelers, and or based on how the person reacts to people around, you use this as cues to just judge and understand, and to a great degree of accuracy know that now this is not something you have to carry beyond the dating level or the courtship level.
Okay. All right, this is Saturday's for Weddings on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM, and this morning we are talking about living together before the wedding. And the question is, should couples live together before the wedding? You too can call in to be part of this conversation if you reach out to us on 0808 427 5464. That is 0808 427 5464. And the question is, should couples live together before the wedding? And we are almost out of here, so if you call in right now, you still catch up with us.
Now let me add this before I finally wrap things up.
But let's take this call first. Sorry. Hello.
Hello, yes, quickly. It's the first caller, Engineer Sunday Akbar. Let me just fit in something here.
Okay.
The idea that people give, there's good they give that they want to study each other and test and see whether the is compatible. It's not, it cannot even work.
Okay.
Human beings, as you know, we are very enigmatic. Somebody can pretend it for 20 years, you can never know that person. If somebody wants to get married to you, maybe because of something she wants, she can pretend to be good, to be like an angel. Once you get into the marriage, you will show her true color.
Okay.
So nobody deceives himself. That is why the Bible says, houses and wealth are inherited from fathers.
Yes.
But a prudent wife is for the Lord.
Okay.
Vice versa. So that is it. Sometimes you think that you can decode anybody.
All
Don't
right.
deceive yourself. Don't fall there. You can't. You can't at all.
All right.
In marriage, people compromise. Decide to make it work. So you compromise and fear the Lord, and then you live together. That's all.
All right. Thank you very much for calling back in. Okay, so Clemens, go on and give your final word on this before we go.
Yeah, just trying to counter this excuse of, say, testing the waters. Now in our modern day society, now we have phone calls, right? We can make phone calls. Now if you're somebody rather who doesn't like to be stressed out, who doesn't want to be in a relationship that feels like you're being controlled, do you know, from phone calls alone you could deduce that without needing to even be living with the person to see that yes, the person is the controlling type. When you miss the person's calls and the person, but when you eventually get talking, the person is questioning you why you missed their calls, or why you didn't pick up their calls fast enough, or why didn't you call them back quick enough, all of this kind of stuff. These are things that with a sane mind and a very focused one, a smart one at that, would pick up as cues and know that, okay, this is a no for me. Okay, now let's talk about the complacency that eventually forms for people who cohabit. Now you run the risk of the other partner becoming complacent and not rushing, not even willing to go into marriage eventually as quick as you would have wanted them to, because they're getting all the benefits they need in the meantime, so they'll just feel relaxed and not want to get into marriage itself, though you were in it to get married, but then the person is just feeling like, let me just delay this whole thing, I'm getting all I need in the meantime.
All right, so thank you for that, Clement. But before we go, let me just read out this comment, because we are also streaming live on Facebook at Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM Makudi. And Katsua Nati Henry says, I will speak to you on some certain things about this program. Wrongdoing, the difference is what's happening back then in the time of our forefathers. It is the same. In the religious life we are today, it is not advisable, but it is social culture we find ourselves into in Africa is not good. Okay. We are running out of time, but I think I get what this person is trying to say. He's saying, okay, from Western cultures and all of that, it's more like people are normalizing it, but in our own culture or the setting we find ourselves these days, it is not good. And also, he also says this is a very interesting program. All right, thank you very much for that. And this is where we would have to wrap it up on Saturdays for weddings. This morning we have been looking at living together before the wedding, and we have been asking, should couples live together before the wedding? And at the end of the day, love is a journey, and every couple must decide what feels right for them. The key is just communication, respect, and shared values. No matter what you choose, make sure it builds trust, not tension. So as you go, don't forget to remember, build love with intention and let wisdom lead your decisions. All right, so this has been Saturdays for weddings, and I hope you have enjoyed staying here with us. I'm your host today. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and I've been here with
Clement Sampson.
Also coming up at 1 p.m. is Speedy Kids. So stay tuned for that and more right here on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM.
AskingRadio.com app available on Android and iOS devices. Download now.
Hello, my Cloody. Asking Radio